Carissa Sundholm, welcome to episode 2
Thank you.
of the UWOVB TV. So just to kick it off, what was it like for you to be a multi-sport athlete that also played club volleyball in high school? You were doing a lot.
Yeah, it was tough. Club alone is very demanding, so doing that with track was not the easiest. There would be nights where I would get back at 10:30 p.m. and I was at school at 7 a.m. So that whole day I was not home at all because I practiced in Menominee Falls, which is about 30 minutes away from my house. So had to drive a while, and then my legs were just always so dead and mentally drained, physically drained. But honestly, looking back, it was 100% worth it. I learned a lot of time management skills, communication skills between coaches, and I do not regret being a multi-sport athlete at all because it definitely shaped me into a better person and athlete. So.
Was there a moment when you were aha moment where all of a sudden volleyball was the sport that you wanted to play, or when was the point in your athletic career when you decided, at least collegiately, that volleyball was the way you wanted to go?
I always knew. I knew that I wasn't going to carry track over into college. I mean, I thought about it a little bit, but realistically, I always just loved volleyball way more, and track was just kind of a bonus sport that I happened to be decent at. So it was more just my focus was always on volleyball. But yeah, there was a small moment where I thought about track, but only not very long. It was always volleyball.
Can I just say that even the term bonus sport that you just used is a telltale sign of your character. Some people would be it's my secondary sport, or it's the sport that I just do to stay in shape. And you found a way to make your secondary sport be fun and positive.
Yep.
That's very Carissa Sundholm. That's awesome. So just kind of fast forwarding to the collegiate space.
Mm-hmm.
I remember recruiting you specifically. I remember I watched a lot of your matches in club. I remember I feel like I was a Sting parent basically, watching around. It was a good thing that our colors were very similar. I just
worked out perfect.
Blended right in.
Yep.
Yeah. But at what point did you realize that Oshkosh was actually the school that you want to go to? If you think about the things, basically, why did you make the decision to choose UW Oshkosh?
Well, it definitely took me a while to commit, longer than the average person. I think I committed a month and a half before graduation, which isn't always ideal. But I was obviously looking at a few other schools for volleyball, but honestly, once I toured Oshkosh, no other school really compared to it. It was just so different. And it took a lot of thinking, and I realized that I wanted something different than what I've been used to my whole life. Being a private school kid, I was always in this little bubble, and I thought Oshkosh was going to be a good way for me to branch out and just really find myself outside my comfort zone. And I realized that Oshkosh was definitely the place for me to do that.
That's exciting. It's a bold move to do something right different than what you're used to, for sure. So once you got here, what are some of the things that you remember? What are some of you're a sophomore now.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of your favorite memories as a freshman volleyball player, student athlete here at UW Oshkosh?
There's a lot. I obviously loved preseason. That was the first time that you really got to bond with the girls, and it's so fun. It's a tough few weeks, but it's so fun, and I made a lot of memories through preseason. And Green Lake was another fun one. The camping trip, the scavenger hunt, all that good stuff. It's just a lot of team bonding things that I always come back to, bus rides, Colorado. We made so many memories my freshman year.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Many more.
Yes.
Many more to make. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. COVID will always be a thing to some degree, but not to the degree that it was this last
exactly,
year.
Yep.
That's for sure. And then, what were some challenges that you faced your freshman year? Were there things that were tough for you that you didn't really even sort of see on the radar as you were coming into your freshman year?
Yeah. It was a tough year. When I first got here, it was a little bit easier because you go right into volleyball season, so you're knowing what you have to do. You're in a routine with practices, class. It's a little bit hard to get into the routine, but once you're in it, you feel good and you feel accomplished. Oh, I'm in college now. I'm doing it. So a challenge for me, I think, was mostly after season. I would say I guess maybe in like the November, like, and then over Christmas break, like I really started like second guessing things, like, oh, was Oshkosh the place for me? Like, should I be in college? Should I be playing volleyball? Like, I was doing a lot of second guessing with myself and not really trusting myself and the path that I chose. And I think there's a lot of college freshmen that go through that, I'm sure. Like, you're always going to second guess what you do. And I just really needed to do, like, a lot of self-reflecting in that time. But once second semester came around, like, I met so many new amazing people. I, like, was really finding myself and just really told myself to, like, look at the little things. Like, not, like, I don't know, not panic so much that, like, I'm out of my comfort zone and just trust my judgment and, like, I made the right choice. So it was a struggle, but got through it.
Well, can I just from even that response, can I say that it's not common that everybody is as open as you were about the doubt that you had about your choices, and to communicate that in the way that you did, and even just explain it the way that you did, is maybe a lesson that you can pass on to others.
Yeah.
Like to doubt that you've made a right decision in some major aspect of your life is normal.
Right.
And then how you navigate that is maybe even the most important part of the process. And so if you could give advice to somebody, that has a similar experience in any phase of their life, whether it's college or anything else, doubting if they're in the right place for them or not, is there any advice that you can give to them?
I would honestly say just don't overthink it. Like, trust yourself. Chances are you are on the right path. Like, everything happens for a reason. So even if you're having those little doubts, like, just keep on trusting yourself and trying to find, like, the positive things in every situation that you're put in.
That's huge. So, like, fast forward, do you look back at that moment now that you're, like, older and, like, I can't believe I even thought that? Or, like, how do you process it now that you're a sophomore looking back?
Honestly, yeah, because I feel like I'm such a different person now, and I'm so happy at Oshkosh. Like, I don't know why I was ever unhappy, but I also do understand my thought process at the same time. But yeah, I definitely don't have those same thoughts anymore, but for a little bit I did, like, understand. Like, I think it was just the new phase of my life that was kind of, like, making me panic a little bit or a little bit nervous, but so I understood where I was coming from, but I definitely think I grew from that.
Well, you're obviously comfortable in your own skin now,
Yes.
because the previous interviewer that we had here, Ms. Kendall Enyart, made a statement that you are now indeed the funniest person on our volleyball team. And so that's a feather in the cap for sure. That's kind of a big deal. It's maybe a lot of responsibility. I don't know if you're ready to shoulder that burden of funniest person. So, A, do you think you are indeed the funniest person on this volleyball team?
No. Thank you, Kenny, for saying that. That was so nice. But I think everyone is funny in their own way. Like, everyone has their little, like, things that they do or say. And, like, some are just, like, louder about it than others. But honestly, there's not a single person on the team that has not made me laugh. So I don't know if I would not say I'm the funniest in any way, but we are all hilarious. Like, collectively, we're a very funny team.
We are indeed. It's entertaining. It's never not entertaining. So I'm not saying this will be the next person interviewed on UWOVB TV,
Okay.
but if you had to pass the torch and say, who do you believe is the funniest person on this team, and you could only pick one person, who would you pick? And I didn't prep you for this question. This is
a very tough one. Honestly, someone that always makes me laugh is Brenna. She just, something she says, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you just said that, but it cracks me up. So if I do it with one person, I'd have to say Brenna.
Okay. Well, do you have a go-to corny joke?
I don't know, I'm not one to tell corny jokes, but I have known jokes since, like, middle school that I've always said.
Oh, you have a good middle school joke you can drop on us right here? Okay, bring it.
I don't think a lot of people have heard this one either.
Okay.
What did the janitor say when he jumped out of the closet?
I don't know.
Have you heard this one?
No, I'm just laughing because it's the good setup.
Supplies.
That's pretty good. That's amazing.
Got it off Google.
So what is one of the funniest moments that you remember in UWO, in your time at UWO? Funniest moments.
This is a tough one, but the one I thought of, like, instantly was one, I don't know if a lot of people remember this, but it was in Green Lake during the scavenger hunt, like, And a lot of the coaches were like hiding in little places, like trying to scare us or trying to help us, whatever it may be. And me, Morgan, and Rachel were walking. Do you know this, right? Yeah. Me, Morgan, and Rachel were walking, and I think maybe like a few other people were behind us or something. We're just walking, talking, you know. And Bray was apparently really trying to scare us, like really dedicated to scaring us, and he was behind like this little wall. And we're just walking like totally in our own world, and all of a sudden Bray jumps out and goes, boo! And just, we have no reaction whatsoever. We're just like, hey, Bray. And he was so mad at himself. He was so upset. And I felt so bad. Like, we should have honestly just had some reaction, but that was hilarious.
Fake jumped. Yeah.
Yes.
He was waiting there. I kid. It was like over a half an hour crouched behind a wall when you guys had come up. And yeah, he was so ticked. That was the first story he told me when he came back to like the coach's headquarters, was like this fail of a scare. It's like, they could have at least screamed. Right. They could have jumped. They could have done anything.
I don't know how we had no reaction. Like, we really were not paying attention, I guess, but that was hilarious.
That was pretty fun. You guys were pretty stone cold. What's a non-volleyball skill-related concept that you've learned during your time in our program?
Definitely time management is one of them, and communicating with everyone in your life. So time management, like, during season especially, you don't really have a lot of time to just sit around. I mean, there's some days that you do, but chances are you won't. So I guess just really finding like those gaps in your day that you can do your homework, study, whatever you need to do, like wasting no time. Like, as much as you want to sit on your phone for a little bit, like, if you have something, just get it done right away. Like, in high school, I was the biggest procrastinator. Like, I totally pushed everything to the last minute, but college, I really learned to, like, just get it done right away. You'll feel so much better about it. And then communication, just being an athlete, like, you have to talk to your professors and coaches, whatever it may be. Like, some things are going to overlap, and you have to let people know that. So I learned to just, like, especially in person, I remember my professors really liked when I would actually go up to them rather than email them and just say, like, introduce myself, like, tell them I'm on the volleyball team, and then tell them, like, my schedule conflicts, and they all appreciated it and were totally understanding. So that's definitely something big I learned.
Both huge. Yeah. Both huge. This is a tough one too, but how would you describe the UWOVB family to the rest of the world?
I would say we're honestly just all very, like, caring people, and it's, like, not just caring because, like, they're your teammates. Like, I feel like we all genuinely care about each other on, like, a different level than volleyball. Like, personally too, like, if we ever have, like, personal issues, I feel like I can go to every single person on the team, and they all know that they can come to me too. Like, that's, I think, something rare, and we definitely have that. So I think we all just genuinely care about each other as people rather than just athletes, which is huge. Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm smiling behind this mask. I'm not on camera, but that's pretty special. I get asked that question a lot from a recruiting standpoint. You know, like, what is it like to be a member of the Oshkosh volleyball family? And I don't say a lot of words. It's just it's a feels like. You know, like, you just have to be here and know the people that you're with to understand what that's like, and no better person than a player to try to explain what that's like. And you've just given the ultimate compliment to your teammates, by the way. That's pretty special. All right, you ready for some quick hitters here?
Yep.
Okay. Favorite volleyball trip we've taken?
Colorado, easily.
Why? What was your favorite thing on Colorado about the trip?
Going to, where did we go? What were they called? The
Garden of the Gods.
Yes.
For the sunrise.
That was beautiful. It was early in the morning, which wasn't not always good for Carissa, but that was...
Way to go, third person.
Yeah, no, but that was hands down the best.
We did, if it makes you feel better, we had guilt when we said that we wanted to actually leave at whatever it was, 5 o'clock in the morning to drive to Garden of the Gods for sunrise. But when we saw you guys just chattering down the path as, like, the sun was peeking over the formations and everybody had their phones out, you know, taking photos and video, that was a pretty special moment.
Yeah.
It was fun. And then as we got into the day and we got to explore the park a little bit and climb up on the formations, it was kind of...
Didn't Rocky fall asleep? And we had
Rocky actually slept on a rock. So we have a picture of Rocky on a rock.
Oh my
And then
God.
we were all back in the vans, and we're like, where's Rock?
Yeah, didn't Vera go find him, or somebody went to find him?
Vera ran out to go get him, but he came back, like, on another path, and so he came back before she even like found out where he was, and yeah, it was pretty amazing.
Oh my gosh.
And then after that, that's when we drove up to Pikes Peak. Right after
Yes,
that. We grabbed some food and went up top. So cool. All right. What are you majoring in?
Elementary education is
Why?
my major.
Why did you choose elementary ed?
Honestly, I've always been told I was good with kids, and I've always loved working with kids. So I just felt like that was the best path for me.
Awesome. Who's been your favorite professor so far?
This was a hard one, but I would have to say Mike Skowronski, I think was his last name. It was my freshman year Math 110 teacher, and he was so nice. He came to a lot of our volleyball matches. I don't know how many, but he was there quite a bit, and he even bought raffle tickets from me, which was so nice. And he was just always asking me about volleyball, and I even saw him, I think, at like Big Apple Bagels a few months ago, and he recognized me still, and that was, I don't know, that made me feel so special. So he was definitely my favorite so far.
Can I share this video?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, you can.
That'd be very cool. Just in general, like, if you had to describe like the relationship between students and professors at Oshkosh, what would you say?
It's like very, I don't know, I feel like the students are really comfortable with the professors, and I feel like the professors are very understanding of all their students. Like, I have really not had a bad experience with any of my professors. I mean, I'm only a sophomore, and I was only in-person classes for like a semester and a half, but I feel like that's still, like, I've just noticed that professors at Oshkosh are very understanding, and they genuinely care and like get to know a lot of their students that they have.
Where's your favorite place to study on campus?
Just Polk, honestly. There's a room on the second floor. I think it's called like the study lounge. I don't know what it's called, but it has like way comfier chairs in there, and you can like talk at a normal level there. Like, you don't have to whisper anything. So we always just go there and study, and that's where I get most of my work done.
Awesome. Any like study tips that you give people, like how to be productive in your studying space, like whether it's go somewhere else other than your dorm or anything?
Yeah, definitely. If you're struggling to stay focused, like if you're just in your dorm, just try to find different places. Because last year I spent a lot of time studying in my dorms, and I just like got like bored of it or just couldn't focus. So then I started going to the library a lot more with like my friends. And another thing is like going with other people that have stuff to do, because you guys will like stay focused together. So I think, yeah, find people that you want to study with and a place to study.
So you're a social studier.
Yes, yes.
Nice. What's your next Netflix binge?
I'm the type of person that like likes to rewatch their shows. So like, have you heard of The Walking Dead?
Yeah.
I've watched that show way too many times, like all the way through. And yeah, that's kind of bad, but I love that show. I just watched The Last Chance U, the newest season with the basketball team, and that was really good.
Awesome.
I watched that a little bit too fast, but yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna binge watch anything anytime soon. Nothing's really caught my eye.
Okay. All right. So
yeah.
stay tuned for your next.
Yes.
Got
yes.
it. Yeah. We'll do a 2.0
Okay.
series.
Beautiful.
Whether on campus or back home, if you could have like any meal, like what is your favorite meal? Any restaurant, home cooked meal, campus, anything.
Ooh. Restaurant?
Yeah, anything in the world, basically.
Well, my go-to is always just mac and cheese. Because I'm a very picky eater, and mac and cheese just always brings me joy. But lately, oh gosh.
I'm dying right now.
It
Mac and
does.
cheese
It's
just
like,
brings me joy.
I will literally eat any type of mac and cheese. Like, if I'm at a restaurant and I'm not confident in anything else on the menu, and they have mac and cheese, that's what I'm ordering. 100%.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Cool. I can't get past it. What is a non-volleyball hobby that Carissa Sundholm has?
Honestly, just hanging out with my friends, I guess, and listening to music is a big thing I like to do. Yeah.
Good. Nice. Last one. This wasn't on the list, but it just kind of blew my mind, that whole semester and a half of only in-person classes, right? And so, like, holy mackerel, rolling into your junior year, sophomore in terms of eligibility status, maybe your first in-person year. Like, what are some of the things you're welcoming in, ultimately, like, almost like 2 new classes of teammates to play with us coming into our your junior year? What are some of the things that you're the most excited about as you look ahead?
I guess just life getting back on track, and like I felt so bad for our freshmen this year, like haven't really experienced a real season, and I'm very excited for them to have these games next year, and then like the class below them. Like I'm just excited to see how our team actually meshes in, like when we're in a real season. Yeah, I'm just excited for everyone to experience what it's like because it's so fun. It's amazing. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, those experiences are obviously more enjoyable when you enjoy and trust the people that are around you. And we obviously brought you in because you were called the funniest person on the team, and so we had to bring somebody in who was mentioned in the previous episode. But I do also want to say that the story that you told about your questions that you had about the decision you made your freshman year to who you've become as a sophomore, and that willingness to be so transparent and open, not only with your teammates but your coaching staff and your family, really everybody that's in your life, is surely a strong leadership quality that you have. And so very few are categorized in some of the funniest people, and also that sort of vulnerable and transparent. And so we're looking forward to seeing how Carissa the junior helps welcome our new people and help even our current freshmen experience what a quote-unquote normal season is like when we roll into our junior year. Thank you for joining us
Thank you.
in this episode. And again, like Kenny's name was mentioned today, yours will live on in future episodes as well. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.
That's a wrap. Good job. You did great.
Thank you.